How are you, Darren?
Hello, Victor. Norman, doing good.
What you brought for us today?
Well, we got a couple of critters, 2 praying mantises, a couple lizards, a gecko, spider. You guys afraid of spiders?
A little bit.
Terrified.
Poisonous ones, yeah. I just don't want to get bit.
Poisonous or venomous?
Venomous. Venomous. What's the difference between venomous and poisonous?
Venomous is if they bite you, and you could die. Poisonous is if you eat them and then you die.
Very, very good.
I took notes.
I took notes
Well, look
earlier.
at you, Norman.
Right.
Doing your homework beforehand.
So how you got into collecting these critters?
Yeah, like
Well,
where's the origin story?
shit, and I'm painting me out to be some sort of superhero or something like that.
Pretty much.
How did you become a Pokemon trainer?
Yeah, a real life Pokemon trainer.
Well, let's see. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it all the way back. So, I grew up
Speak louder.
in
Okay, fine.
I spent about 6 years growing up here. We moved back to Asia, and from there, you know, it was different in the sense that where I was living in it was high-rise apartments and everything like that. So, from an early age, I thought to myself, all right, there's probably nothing gonna be living around here. And I think I was like 8, I believe, and this big praying mantis, we're talking like that big,
Oh, hell.
flew in through my window. And I just sat there in awe of this creature, like, where did you come from? What are you doing here? This is
This is a
Singapore.
city.
Singapore is a concrete jungle. It's a city state.
So it didn't scare you?
The thing was, growing up, I was never afraid of them. My parents brought me up in a way that was like, every animal has its place on this earth, and they have a very important reason as to why they are here.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was no initial fear. It was more of, what am I looking at, and where did you come from? So I had, as every little kid, you got your little books of bugs. So I was like flipping through it, trying to identify it, and I ran to a brick wall. I was like, okay, praying mantis. And they were like, well, there are many species of praying mantises, and, the ones in the book were like illustrated from the exotic places like the Amazon. And I was like, wait, but I'm in Asia, so what's here? And there's always that question of what, that we ask, like, what else is out there? So I saw this one big praying mantis, caught it, kept it for a day, and then I let it go in the park. And then it dawned on me, and I was like, wait, what else is out here? Is this the only thing? That can't be right. So, did my research, pulled up more books. Well, I mean, you can probably tell I was a nerd from a young age.
Yeah, you got bug books.
So, it was more of a reference thing. I was like, all right, I know this is what it is. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what else is out there.
Yeah.
So, I went to the library, I checked online. I believe my parents even got me in touch with the one of the head zookeepers at the Singapore Zoo at one point of time to ask questions. And they were very gracious to, humor the incessant asking of how old was I? I think I was like 9. So that basically kickstarted it. And then I realized, after I've been watching these critters for so long, then the next question was, all right, how do I replicate an environment at home where I can bring them in and observe them from the comfort of my home? Then that led into, all right, so I have this animal right now. What's its habitat requirements? What does it eat? How does it reproduce? Are there temperature requirements, humidity requirements? There are all these little things that you have to, nature kind of balances itself out in the wild.
Yeah.
You kind of like, you let it do its thing, and, if it doesn't live, something else will find its place. But in a captive environment, you're trying to get it as close to nature as possible, and even then sometimes you don't quite make it, and it's unfortunate, but it's the way things are. You take everything as a learning experience, and trust me, as a kid, I've lost a fair amount of specimens growing up. Some of them hurt a little more than the rest. You try and pair them up, female munches the male.
Oh, damn.
Happens. I mean, it's generally not recommended. There's that whole thing of praying mantises eating the male, the females eating the males.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that only happens if you don't feed the female enough.
Do you keep them apart or they're together?
The thing about praying mantises is they are solitary animals their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
They pair up to breed, and then the male runs as fast as he can after he's done, because the female will turn on him and eat him. And that has happened before.
That sounds fun.
Spiders are like that too, right?
See, here's the thing. With spiders, some of them are. The females are rather ornery. It doesn't help that females are twice the size of the male. So you got a male that's like, what, 4 inches across. Female that's like 6, pushing 6 or 7. Female is all bulk. The males are all legs.
When they're in nature, do they kind of stay with? Are they solitary, or they kind of stay with each other, like spiders specifically? Like, would you find more than one spider together? Well, tarantulas specifically.
All right, let's talk about tarantulas. Then.
Yeah,
So
because you have a tarantula.
with tarantulas, the females will bunker down in a location that she finds hospitable, and she will pretty much live there her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
As long as conditions remain ideal, they really don't do too much wandering. The males, on the other hand, they're the ones who are out about walking around and looking
For females or for?
for females. When they are small, the males will stay in their burrow as well. They have like a bit of growing up to do. It generally takes them about 2 to 3 years, depending. Some of them mature in a year even, I believe, if you keep them warm enough. But that's more of like an artificial thing. If we're talking like in nature, to go from like a tiny, 1/4 of an inch sling, well, that's short for spiderling, all the way up to like a mature male, which would be about pushing 3 to 4 inches,
Yeah.
5. Probably take about, I want to say about 2 to 3 years, depending on the species, because some of them grow at a pace that, we call them heirloom pets. Because if you get one that's like 1/4 of an inch at the later part of your life, you will literally have to hand the animal down because you'll be dead before that thing matures.
For the spider?
Yeah.
How
Especially if it's a female.
How long does it live?
With males, you pushing about, I'd say 5 to 7 is really pushing it for some species. Most expire within 4.
4 years.
Mm-hmm. And they take about 3 years to grow. So if you factor that, from 1/4 of an inch to like their maximum size, that's about 3 years. And then you throw on an additional 1 year of like, them just being sexually mature, and then they expire.
So it takes them 3 to 4 years to mature. They have sex for 1 year and then they die.
Pretty much.
It's
Damn.
interesting.
It's like biologically, they're just programmed to reproduce.
Imagine the humans were like that. At,
I feel like-
at 13 we mature. At 14 we die.
Well,
Have
here's
some
the thing.
kids out at 14.
Here's the funny thing. The females would live exponentially longer.
How long?
Because the females get between anywhere from, depending on species, because here's the thing as well. Some species just don't live long at all. Some of them, the males get like 5, females get like 25 to 30.
25? That's a big difference.
Yo, but even humans though, because like we're only living as long as we are because of technology and medicine.
But even then, like, if you have a female and a male, females usually live longer, but not by much. Maybe a couple years, but not 4 times as much.
Like
not
a factor
5
of
times
like
as
4
much.
to 5.
Yeah.
All right, so explain that though, because what you told us before, explain that to everybody.
All right, so it might seem like a ridiculous thing. Like, all right, why are the males so short-lived and why do the females live so long? The answer comes down to genetic diversity. In nature, the last thing you want is to be inbreeding, because that leads to severe problems down the line. You start start copulating with close relatives, and then
You get a Joffrey.
Maybe.
you're not wrong.
like an asshole spider.
You're really not wrong on that bit, but So how it works is, the reason that the females grow slower compared to the males primarily is to stop that problem. So how it works is, the males will mature a lot faster than the females, and they'll be looking for a mate before their sac mates mature. So that ensures that you're not breeding with a direct relative. And so by the time that, let's say we have 1 egg sac, and you pull 1 male and 1 female out from that egg sac, the male will be matured in 5 years, the female will still be growing. So if the male comes tapping at her burrow, she will respond with either running out and trying to bite him, and he'll be like, okay, I'm getting out of here. And he runs off, goes look for another female. While, let's say if we look like 3 years back, that's a female that's already matured by then. So he'll probably pair up with her. And the chances of them, being from a similar sex are very, very low. Because nature is not kind. Well, technically that implies, intent. Nature doesn't have an intent. Nature just is.
It's just crazy.
Well, she finds a way to make things work. So let's say an egg sac has about 200 kids. I'd say 1 to 2 will probably make it to
Really?
maturity. Yep.
Damn.
At a quarter of an inch, they are fragile little things. And the undergrowth where they live in is a terrifyingly vicious place.
Is there sibling-icide where they kill each other? Or infanticide? Like, would the father
Well-
eat the eggs, or would the mother eat the eggs or something?
Well, see, the thing is, the females only consume their egg sac if conditions are, inhospitable.
yeah, because they can always have more kids.
Like that is true as well. The females can they hold their sperm? I'm not too certain if they can hold their sperm, but I have seen instances where the females just feel that alright, the conditions currently are not optimal for raising young. So they realize that alright, the young are all probably gonna expire, so they'll consume the entire egg sac, and then they'll tide them over until the next breeding season comes. Then they'll pair up again. Because of the female, the males will always be plentiful.
So, if the males only live 1 year where they're sexually mature, they only have that one shot, right? So if they can't find the mate that 1 year during breeding season, they're just done. They can't pass on their genes.
Pretty much.
Damn, you don't want to fail.
But here's the thing.
A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. Dude, you got one shot.
The males walk a lot. They can cover a massive distance because the moment that biological switch clicks and they're like, alright, it's breeding time. The season is here. They will abandon their burrows and they'll literally just keep walking.
Do they have multiple mates?
They can.
So they just go from hole to hole to hole to hole,
Possibly.
dropping their seeds everywhere?
If they don't get munched. Because remember,
They move it
the
around.
female is twice the size and twice the weight of him.
Is it an adaptation that the female attacks the male? So I'm assuming the female's bigger to defend the eggs or the...
You're not wrong. The females are larger because, it's physically more taxing on the body
Yeah.
to produce eggs. The males are just walking sperm receptacles if you really think about it.
Okay. So there's no fights between the male and female. I'm assuming the female attacks the male to get rid of him after they did the do.
Sometimes, in nature, it also depends on the
species.
Some species are more aggressive than others. Some species they cohabitate.
Do they?
Yeah. There are communal tarantulas as well.
Like they raise the children together or they live together?
The entire colony lives together as one giant family
For
unit.
tarantulas, I seen
Like,
daddy long legs and stuff where they're just
yeah,
in bulk.
That is true, but as far as I'm aware of, and even then it's only been observed in the hobby because nobody has done heavy research on them in the wild as far as I'm aware of. The species is known as Monocentrophus balfouri, or M. balfouri for short. That would be the Latin name. If we're doing the common name or the English name as they're known in the hobby, they are the blue-legged gold baboon, I believe, is their common name.
Spider?
Tarantula.
Tarantula?
So think of a gold spider with gunmetal blue legs.
That sounds really cool.
That sounds like I want a chain of it.
Yo,
like I want
that's
a golden tarantula around my neck
Yo.
with blue arms.
you know like the Egyptian scarab, right? It's like
Yep, the
blue and
scarabs.
gold.
Yep.
Maybe that's where they got it from.
Possibly.
But blue and blue and yellow go so well together. It's like a nice contrast.
Golden State Warriors.
Ooh.
Okay, that works.
Blue and gold. Can't go wrong with that color
Yeah,
scheme.
no, you can't. It looks nice together.
So what they do is, at least it's been observed in captivity, if you take a couple of the babies and you put them together, usually what happens is that when they get older, they split up and they're like, all right, we're leaving, and they'll each make their own little territories, and if anyone crosses that boundary, they're lunch. With this species, what they'll do is that they'll congregate together and they'll web up the entire place and turn it into a nice little den, and everyone kind of works together in a group. And people argue that, all right, so it's only been observed in captivity. But here's the thing. If you take them individually and you grow them up, even with the most optimal settings, so we're talking like perfect heat, humidity, a good feeding schedule, to grow up a spider about that big to its adult size, they can take like 3 to 4 years.
So, if you have a male spider that you're raising in captivity, does it want to just escape all the time because it wants to walk around and mate?
Well, here's the thing. They do what we call walking to death, where you have them in the enclosure and they'll literally pace around the enclosure until they expire.
I feel like that's not good.
No, that is very not good, which is why it might seem cruel, but what we do is we put them in a smaller size container so it limits their walking. Especially, let's say if we want to pair them up. The male matures first compared to the female. We're like, oh crap, what do we do now? What you do is you scale the male down to a smaller enclosure, you give him lots of water so that he's constantly hydrated, and you put the female on the heat. Like you raise the temperature for the female a little bit and try to grow up a little faster.
That's so interesting.
So the idea is that you want to preserve the male for as long as you can, just so that when the female matures, you pair them up, and hopefully that works.
When does the female mature? Like at what age?
Depending on the species, 4 to 5 years.
So it's like 3 to 4 for the male,
3 to 4 for the males,
and 4 to 5
4 to 5 for the females.
So if you're lucky, you get like one that matches for age 4.
Then you come to the other issue. See, you pair them up. So let's say, you have the male, you have the female, you're like, all right, good. We're done. You pair them up and you're like, all right, you see insertion, the male survives, which is very important as well because the females can lay dud sacs where, you look at it and you're like, all right, that looks good. She's holding it, she's turning it, and then she just dumps it in her water bowl and she's like, this one was bad. Then you got to pair them up again.
With a different spider.
You can do it with the same male. You can do it with the same male. That's why, people say, oh, the males get munched. It's part of the hobby. No, it's not. No, it is not. The idea is that you want to try and keep the males alive as long as possible because they're important too. Sure, they might not live as long, but if you want this to work, and if the female lays a dud sac, or in the case that she molts. So with tarantulas, how they grow is that they shed their exoskeleton and literally they just pop right out.
Yeah.
So if you pair a female, and you're like, all right, where are my eggs? And she flips over and she molts. That sperm is gone. So you got to do it all over again. And that's why you don't want the male to get munched.
Is there a time they molt? Like once a year, or is it?
You can kind of predict it because they'll go into what we call pre-molt, where they stop eating, they burrow down, their color darkens, and you're like, oh, okay, you're kind of due for a molt. Leave them alone, put them to the side, raise the humidity. But
that's trippy. Man, I keep thinking, what if humans did that? Like, what if we shed our skin? Like, all at once, not over time, but just like, I need a girl.
I mean, we do go through puberty and stuff, like our teeth,
that's
our
like the
baby
only
teeth.
thing, though.
Well,
similarities.
Norman makes a good point, but it would be a lot more. How would I put it?
Like, man, imagine you had your skin in the closet, like, oh, that's my last year's skin.
Well, it's more of literally pulling off your entire shell and just coming out of it. And
That's because they have exoskeletons, though.
that is right.
We do not have exoskeletons.
What if we replaced our skeleton, our regular skeleton,
Our spine?
everything? Just pull out our bone, switch it with something else.
We
I
would
could
look
be
very,
taller.
Very different.
Turn to noodles, just cause.
All right, so Darren, I have a question. You know how before you said, like the males, they have about like 1 year during their mating time? How about for the females? Like what is their window to reproduce?
They can pretty much reproduce whenever the conditions deem it, hospitable for babies. So let's say they live in a tropical area. As long as the decently humid, food is readily available, they will be fertile all year round. They can breed whenever they want. That's with the tropical species. I believe with the Americas, we recently had the over in Oklahoma, I believe, they had this thing where the male tarantulas were out walking around and you literally see like a whole herd of them just marching around looking for females.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Damn, that's like guys going to the club looking for ladies.
You're not wrong.
Since we're talking about spiders or tarantulas, do you want to bring one out?
Sure, why not? Let's do that.
We're gonna see a spider. Are you scared of bugs?
Terrified.
Do you want to hold it?
Hell no.
Why not?
Didn't you hear what Darren said? He said they're defensive, man. I don't know
They're
what the hell.
defensive. Just don't do
Yeah,
anything.
so I was talking to him in the car, right? And usually I wear cologne.
Yeah.
And today I was like, I'm not gonna wear cologne because if we're touching them, what if like it throws off their senses or something?
Maybe.
And he said it was possible.
That's a good idea. I didn't put anything on.
Well, as long as, you know.
All right. So, what do we have here?
So we have a hobby staple.
Can't
When
really
people
s-
think of a tarantula, you know, say small little critter, well, small. So this,
Whoa. It's not gonna jump out or anything, right?
Oh hell no!
you know what?
Gotta make
It's
sure I got
napping right
space
now.
to run away,
Oh, I don't got space, dude. I'm trapped. Oh,
bro. Imagine you're
Hold on,
you're
hold on,
walking
hold on.
on the street and you see a spider this big. What do you do?
I'm putting it in a cup. I'm taking it home. I like it, dude. It looks tight. Okay, here we go.
Come on, sweet.
Oh hell no!
Can you stop kicking? So what I'm doing here is what we call catch cupping, where if you're unsure if the spider will react a certain way, you use a cup. So you know what?
Oh, nah. He's bringing it out. Does the light bother it?
No. So
Is that
right
its
there.
web on the back?
yeah.
That does look like. Is it? It is web, right?
Yep, that is webbing.
Yo,
So that is the hobby staple. This is Brachypelma hamori, the Mexican red knee tarantula,
yeah.
Hey.
formerly known
Órale,
as
vato.
formerly known as Brachypelma smithii. So
We're all jokes.
there we go.
It's just chilling right now.
All right.
Yep.
What if I put my hand near it for like size comparison?
It's not gonna do anything, right?
No, she's generally quite calm. Let's just see how she's feeling like.
Shit.
Alright, sweetie. Can
Oh.
you stop that? So that there is what we
Yeah.
call.
What is it doing with its leg?
So
It's like throwing its hairs, right?
mm-hmm. Urticating hairs. So what she does is, you know, we'll get into this topic of old world versus new world. So old world tarantulas, which I did not bring any today for reasons I'm about to explain,
Okay.
are fast moving, venomous, and they lack. You saw how when she flicked her leg on her butt, there were little hairs that came up?
Yes.
Those are urticating hairs. They itch. Now, the old world species, they lack that ability. So they compensate for it with having strong venom. This is what we call new world.
Should we not touch the hairs then, if they're itchy?
Well, it's generally only if you're like right up in their face and they get it in you.
It's like if you're in a fight and they throw dust in your face.
Something like that. Something like that. You're not. You know, you won't be wrong. She's doing a scrunch.
There's like two little things by its butt. What are those two little things? They look like antennas.
Oh, those?
Yeah. Is that for spinning the web?
Yes, those are
Okay.
essentially their. What do we call them? Spinnerets? Yeah, you can call them spinnerets. What they do is that they act like an additional pair of legs, and it helps them to like lay the webbing down. So it works like a pair of fingers.
That's trippy, dude.
Yeah. It actually looks pretty cool like this, but.
Here's the thing: we've caught her at a bad time because, as I talked about pre-molt, she is going into pre-molt.
How can you tell?
Notice how her colors are significantly duller.
Oh, on like the
Like,
on like that little
like
knuckle
the
area.
her orange parts around her knuckle.
it's like
What's
turning
essentially
white.
like you would imagine our knuckle.
Yeah.
Her joints, those would be a fluorescent orange. And Norman almost gets a heart
Yo.
attack.
Yo, why did it turn to face us? Holy
it's looking at me
shit.
now.
Yo,
I'm just waiting for it to just go.
Yo.
Oh, it's coming at Norman. Nah, it's fine. You can just leave it. Oh,
Sweetie.
he's kicking at you.
Yeah.
oh hell no.
Can you see the dust? Is it?
Yeah, sweetie. Would you mind to stop kicking? We're gonna be itching like crazy after this.
Are
And
we
I don't
are we
appreciate
actually?
that.
Oh yeah, it does have two like little fingers in
Yeah,
this
you
butt.
see it, right?
Yeah, we could take some close shots after if you want, Brian.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why?
Nah, it's just cool.
She's still got a lot of growing to go. This is one of the slowest growing specimens.
How
that I
how
have.
how big is she gonna get?
About 6 inches, I'd
Oh
say.
damn, bro. All right, chill.
So
So throw up.
She'll get about 6.
How big is she right now? Like 6 inches? That's like this,
Palm
right?
size.
Wow.
About palm size. So she's got a lot of growing to do.
How old is she?
She, let's see.
Damn, yo,
I
got
got
really
her
scared.
when she was about
That's
an
like James.
inch. She was
She-
about
oh, she
that
did.
big when I first got her.
So was that like a year?
That was about 3 years ago. And she'd put on that much size. But here's the thing, for her to get from a quarter an inch to like 1 inch, that would take her about two and a half years, I'd say.
That's.
So she's about, at the very least, 5 to 6 years old.
So how? At what age would she get full size?
I'd say another year more, a year or 2 more.
You're coming back in a year.
Word, I want to see that the other lizard, that green lizard.
Oh, the
You said
gecko.
that one. You said that one gets really big, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want.
But
to see that one.
she'll only put on size in like a year and a half. So, what do you call it? So,
We should have a birthday party for her. We have like a spider cake or something.
What does she like to eat?
she has a, well, for the gecko,
Yeah, for the gecko.
the gecko has a mix.
All right,
It's
so
there
we're
like
gonna
a
get
fruit mix.
like a party.
That's cute.
We're gonna get a fruit bowl
Yeah.
for her.
Ooh, we got like a little.
She's friendly. I like
Like a
her.
tartar.
This one kind of scares me.
Nah, she's all just chilling. She's kicking at you, but that's
Did you
alright.
not see her turn at me and look at me? I think they could sense fear, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
Will
Oh,
you please stop that, sweetie? What is the matter? You're gonna kick yourself bald.
they do that, right? They got the patches after they
Mhm.
kick too much.
So you can see like sometimes they have like a whole patch of hair that's missing from them. That's
Yeah.
because they've been kicking so much to the point where they've got nothing left.
That's scary.
You know that's funny. One time in high school, right? One of my friends, he says he likes to pick his eyebrow when he watches like shows, and one day he just came with like a big hole in his eyebrow.
So
What's wrong with your friend?
It was like literally the end of his eyebrow was just missing.
so
He's a spider.
think about that like the spider as well. If it keeps kicking its hair,
Will it grow back though?
with each shed it grows back.
Okay.
So
So she only has a limited amount.
yes,
Like
essentially
she can only
she
cook.
does.
She can only kick so much until she gets a new skin, like gets a new exoskeleton.
Maybe that's why she's kicking extra right now, cause like, you know she's going to the pre-molt, right?
It is possible, but you know when they are in pre-mode, they get a little more shy because they realize that they are vulnerable. But she hasn't shown any signs that she is going into molt just yet.
She's so pretty.
She is. The thing is that she gets even prettier when she's just fresh out of her molt. Now she's very dull, but when she's fresh out of her shell, she's like a jet black with like fluorescent orange highlights.
Yo, you should upload more pictures of your animals on Instagram, dude.
Well, the thing is,
It's actually really
you always
interesting.
catch them at a bad time. With tarantulas, they look gorgeous for like the first couple of weeks after they molt out, but after that they kind of dull down a little bit because
You gotta capture those moments.
that'll be a 4 hour long. Like to give you an idea, when they shed, it can take anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of them just slowly.
It's still
pulling
time
themselves
lapse.
out.
Yeah, where just set up like a GoPro and set up like a time lapse.
I've done it before. It's still like sped up. That was still like a 45-minute long
Damn,
video.
bro. You sweating? You nervous, dog?
No, I'm not scared.
She knows you're scared. She's gonna turn our way now.
So we can't pick her up, right?
I'm not
I
picking
just
her up,
wouldn't
bro.
suggest it if only because she's feeling a little shy at the moment. I mean,
How come she's burrowing like that? You see,
She might be cold.
Oh hell nah.
Where you said she was from?
she is from Mexico.
Oh,
Your
we're
cousin,
family,
bro.
bro.
Exactly. That's why I said orale, vato.
So
Maybe I could hold her. We're like basically related.
Yo, hold her up to the camera, Darren.
so
Oh, I just realized you had her in her hand.
You didn't-
Dude, it
you
looks
didn't see
way
that?
bigger in his hand.
When it's spread, when the legs are spread, right?
If you get bit,
Yo,
they'll take you to the hospital.
you're so brave, Darren.
nah. I mean, it would
Don't worry,
hurt.
I'll
Yes,
drive
yes, it
you, I'll
would
drive
fucking
you.
hurt. But what do you call it? You really wouldn't need to take me to the hospital.
We're just gonna put you in the corner.
Damn, bro, you're not scared right now?
Nah.
Look, you see how her front legs like that? Is that their attack mode?
No.
Nah, she's gonna take a next step.
What do you call it? She's getting ready to walk. So You're
Yeah,
being very
man.
well behaved today.
You know,
God damn, looks
there's
way
there's
bigger.
there's one day that I hope. I mean, maybe I could hold a spider like that without being scared.
I could hold one as long as I know it's not gonna bite me.
But there's
See-
no guarantee for that.
I mean, there is a species that I like that I've been looking at that is really, really friendly. So we'll see. At the next show, I might pick up one of these sweethearts.
I'll carry a toy one.
How's it feel in your hand? Is it like soft?
I mean, the thing is, you can feel there's a significant amount of weight. They are hefty creatures. There is an actual mass to it. Some animals, you're like,
Yo, Victor, hold it. Wait, if we're like if our palms are sweaty.
I got sweaty palms.
Yeah, I got sweaty palms too. Like I'm nervous.
I am nervous. I would hold it, but because she looks pretty calm on your palm.
Yeah, right now.
But my hands are sweaty.
Because before you saw when she was on the table, she was like,
Yeah, she was like a little ball.
yeah, she was like burrowed, and like her legs were super tight.
she's pretty, isn't she?
Yeah, she's.
Will she
really-
bite me
she's
if I
really
have
pretty.
sweaty hands?
I'm not sure.
Let's
Let's
not-
not find out.
Let's not find
Let's
out.
not find out.
Like,
For
I
real,
don't
bro.
think they would react to the sweat. It's more of how are you feeling.
Maybe I
because
smell.
because,
I smell like
you know,
chicken.
She likes chicken.
Maybe.
there is a species of tarantula called chicken spider.
Do they eat chickens?
No, it's because they taste like chicken.
Oh. Would
Wait,
you
what? The spider tastes like chicken?
Yeah.
Would you eat a spider?
If it was deep fried and just crispy, hell yeah.
All right, sweetie. Can I have you go back in there?
Can I touch her like while she's climbing?
I
in?
wouldn't
right, I'm
recommend
okay.
it if
See
only
that.
because.
Yo, look at the web on the
Ooh,
brush. Yo.
There you go. So,
Let's talk about her enclosure.
so it might seem very Spartan, but here's the thing: tarantulas don't really need a lot. With a critter like this, admittedly the container is a bit small for her right now. With her, but because she's in the transition period, so I'm holding off on getting her a bigger container till she molts out of this, so I can see the size. Because they will go from as big as she is right now. She looks about 3 inches across. She can get pushed like 4 within a shed.
Oof.
So they will literally go from, oh, this is too big for them to, oh crap, this is too small for them in a single molt. So what you really need is a substrate. So you can choose peat, like a peat mix, dirt. Make sure there are no fertilizers in it because that stuff is toxic to them. Cocoa fiber, which is what this stuff that I'm using right now, you see, kind of looks a little bit like dirt. So that's cocoa fiber. Ooh, sweetheart. So you need a substrate for them to dig in. It also helps them to retain moisture, so they like it a little bit moist. Some specimens tolerate drier conditions. Some of them like it a little wet. So with her, I keep one side of it moist and the other side dry, so she can transition between the two.
Damn, that's cool.
There's also, we usually have like water dishes in there for them because spiders drink. Fun fact, spiders drink water.
Darren, where are her
We got
eyes?
tequila. She's Mexican.
I mean, you can ask.
Right there.
Wait, Darren, where are her eyes?
You see, the thing about tarantulas is that they have very simple eyes on the top of their head.
Is it like? I see like 3 black dots.
I don't see anything.
Towards the front, like where her knuckles are.
Right there.
It looks like there's one black dot in the middle. It looks like, is that her eye? Because it makes her look like a cyclops.
Well, they have a pair, I believe. It's like 4, I think.
And it's like
Arranged in a
super
turret.
close, right?
They have them facing forward and back. But here's the thing, tarantulas don't see with their eyes.
They just sense it, vibrations, right?
Yes, they sense the movement of air going around. That's how they sort of figure out where everything is.
I'm gonna sneeze.
That's a bad idea, sneeze in that direction, but you will scare her.
That's why she has so much hairs.
Mm-hmm.
No,
It's to
I was just
figure
kidding.
out
I was just
what
kidding.
you
I won't
call
do
it.
that.
It's also to figure out, where's prey.
Mm-hmm.
Because when small things move, everything displaces as it moves around. And as you displace that air, she picks up on it and she's like, okay, is this food? Is this a potential mate? They also give off chemical signals as well, so they can pick up on that.
I learned about the spider, I think last year, that lives in the desert, and they would they have their hole, and at night they'll kind of explore the whole area and walk a lot, and they would just go all the way around, and then as soon as they want to go back home, they go straight from where they are straight home, and then the spiders will wonder, the scientists will wonder how are they able to find their way back home without any you know,
Without any maps, without any
Yeah.
GPS, that's
the,
all.
no magnetic frequencies and stuff like that.
Most insects, as far as I'm aware of, well, invertebrates, because spiders are arachnids,
Yeah.
8 legs and all, 2 body segments. So as far as I'm aware of, most invertebrates move around using moonlight. They can track the stars.
Yeah, this specific spider, what he did, or what it did, it will tap its belly to the ground
Mhm.
and feel its own the vibrations of the ground, so it could tell where its hole is at, and it will track kind of
It would literally just backtrack itself and be like, all right, time to go home. And
it
then
will not backtrack itself. It will know where it's at and then just go in a straight line back home. So some other animals, they'll follow. If they go right, left, up, down, they'll just follow that
so kinda
backwards.
Like ants will follow the trail.
Yeah,
You know?
but this spider will go all the way around and then come straight home. And I forgot what it was. I think it was the moon. It will look at the moon and see where it is and the stars.
In reference to
And-
like the stars
yeah,
and everything.
and then it'll tap its belly to find prey, because then it'll find it'll sense that there's like a tunnel underground, and then they'll just
they'll start digging.
start digging. Yeah,
Their sensors are probably super like keen then, because like on even like dirt or like sand, right, where it can absorb shock.
Mhm.
I feel like the vibrations would be kind of dulled down.
Nope.
Like as opposed to like this wood, since it's more solid, the vibrations are going to be more vibrant.
Well, they are much more sensitive to all these sort of like movements because of millions of years of evolution.
Damn, so a sneeze is probably like going through a
Earthquake, dude.
tornado, bro.
Well, it would certainly startle her. I wouldn't say that she would think of it like an earthquake, but she'd certainly be defensive about it.
they live in nature. Like they used to rain and sweat,
But they-
and stuff.
But they would be like, if it was raining, she'd probably like be hiding under something. Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Damn, I like that.
These-
You gave her a
these-
little roof.
Well, these are what we call showcase spiders because in captivity they pretty much just sit out in the open. In nature they wouldn't do that, at least as far as I'm aware of. They'd be, at the entrance of their burrow. But in captivity they seem to just sit out and just
hang
display
out.
themselves. There are some of them that they will hide and you'll be like, where the heck are you? It's like literally keeping a bag of dirt. I have a couple of those as well. We call
They
them
just hide. You gotta shake it around, find them.
Well, now we get into the types of tarantulas, which there are 3. Arboreal, terrestrial, and fossorial. Now,
I forgot all 3 already.
Arboreal is trees, right?
yes,
Fossorial is just like on the ground, and I don't know what the last one was.
fossorial is
Like underground.
underground.
Like they dig themselves in.
Yes, terrestrial means they live on
terrain.
on
Yeah.
terrain.
I know this because of monkeys, dude. I like monkeys.
Hey,
I
look
need
at
this
you. Doing your homework, Victor.
Nah, I have a evolution class, so I'm learning about monkeys.
Oh, so you learned it recently?
Yeah, gorillas and I mean I already kind of knew that, but yeah.
So with tarantulas, you have the terrestrial ones, which is what our Brachypelma hamori here is. She lives on the ground. She scuttles around. She makes a little burrow, and she's pretty comfortable. Then you have arboreal.
Mhm.
Yes, there are tarantulas that live in the trees, and they jump.
They jump.
Do daddy longlegs live in trees?
Well, daddy longlegs they prefer damp and dark locations. They wouldn't like it up in the tree. It's too bright. It's too windy.
No, there was this one time, right? Like I was sitting on a curb, and I was wearing shorts, right? And it was like short shorts, so like, and I felt something crawling on my leg, and it was a daddy long leg, right? And I was like, where did it come from? Because I was sitting on a curb, and it was under a tree. And when I looked up, it wasn't a big tree, right? It was like a small tree. But then when I looked up, there was like a nest of like a swarm of them, just like, and I was like, holy shit, that thing probably fell on my leg, and it was like crawling up my
Well,
leg.
I mean, the thing about daddy longlegs is, a lot of spiders look like daddy longlegs. So
So it could have been
it
another.
could have been one of the, what do you call it? At least as far as I'm aware of, if they look like a dot and they have like,
Like
you,
just 8 legs basically. I seen them.
those would be like, what do we call them? We call them harvestmans. They are kind of arachnid. They are kind of related to spiders.
So they're not spiders. They don't look like spiders. They just look like a ball with legs, like a little ball.
Yeah.
Are they pink? I feel like they're pink.
They are like a grayish, earthy tones, gray, brown.
I used to see
yellow.
them all
Yeah,
the
like
time
a-
in Mexico, and it would just look like a pink nipple with legs. I'm not
Well,
even kidding.
they're different species, but I believe that they are related to ticks. They, in the sense that they have a similar body profile, you know, like a circular body with like, you know,
Yeah.
with legs, as opposed to like say the tarantula right here. You can see that there's an abdomen and a thorax section. There's like two segments. With daddy long legs, it's like a singular.
It's just a ball.
Mhm,
It's
a
just
ball
single
with legs.
So it's not a spider.
So I believe that they are
Learn every
related.
day.
Well, we'll need to do research. We'll need to check, you know, check our facts. But at least as far as I'm aware of, I don't believe that they are related. They are more closely related to ticks. Although, fact check me and correct me if I'm wrong on this.
Like a tick with long legs, then.
Possibly, but they.
Maybe evolutionary ticks. They develop those long legs to mask as spiders to not get attacked.
Well, ticks have the long legs to grip onto things. If you've ever looked at a tick, they have like these grippy arms that kind of look like.
But
that.
a daddy long legs has really long legs. Like it's out. Like it's probably like 100 times bigger than his body length.
But the reason for that is so that they can cross terrain easier, because in the wild, daddy long legs live in the leaf litter.
It's like a truck,
Like a truck.
like a lifted truck.
You're not wrong on that, Norman. Actually, how they would work is having those long legs means that you can elevate
Smooth
yourself.
suspension.
Rough terrain.
Exactly.
Well, have you ever seen them move? You know, their legs do all the traveling up and down, but their body stays relatively
Yeah,
like
it's like a
stable.
gyro, right?
So the idea
food?
is.
The gyroscope. I don't know. The thing that balances the camera.
Yeah. Sorry, we're interrupting you.
How it works is. See, so.
Damn,
With
Darren's
those
getting itchy,
hairs-
bro.
You get some spider dust in your eye.
Yeah, it happens.
Do you need a break?
How much time we got?
You're at 40.
Okay.
40? Well,
We got all day.
that is true. But oof.
Bro, we could just do a longer episode today. If
Okay,
anything.
yeah. We could do one with bugs and one with.
Yo, bring out the
non-bugs.
lizards.
We could do a second one with lizards. Boy, you're so excited.
But someone's excited for the
Here, I'm
reptiles.
gonna clean up after that spider. All right, so you know, what's the? You see how this one has like colors? Does that
Mhm.
help with its like natural habitat?
Well, they.
I mean, you can see he matches the soil.
But where they come from, the
Yeah,
colors
from, like,
actually
where
have
they
to
come
break
from.
it up.
So not be seen by birds and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So depending on where they are at, you know, the orange and the black kind of breaks up their pattern a little bit. So when they sprawl out on the ground, you know, you're kind of, if you're looking for the profile of a spider, you know, you think like, all right, body, 8 legs, and the color sort of breaks things up. So a predator just glancing around would be like, okay, I'm looking for a certain body shape, and the black and orange kind of spreads them out a little bit. So they can just sit there and stay as still as they want, and the predator can just pass right over them most of the time.
You want to check out other bugs?
But what would you like to see next? Is the question.
What do you want to see?
I want to see the mealworms.
That's the food, bro.
Those will be called snacks.
Let's
Yo,
do.
can we eat them? Can we eat them?
I mean,
Let's
you
do this.
bake them.
Let's do this
Victor will
podcast.
eat one.
I'll eat one.
You would actually eat one?
They don't
Nah,
taste all
don't
that
eat
great,
it,
I'll
don't
be
eat it.
honest with you.
Let's finish this podcast with bugs, and then let's do a second one with the lizards.
Sure thing.
The lizards.
Let's bring in the other bugs.
The other bugs. So,
Got the
Yeah.
praying mantis. Right?
praying mantis. Praying mantis looks bigger than I thought it was. Should I move this one? Do you want this one over there?
No, just let Darren handle
We'll just
it.
leave it here.
Just let
Alright.
Darren handle it.
I just be in the background.
Check on the other animals. So for this, we have guests from a faraway location.
Well, this one's pretty far. You said it's from Africa, right?
That looks like a leaf.
So,
My mom would love these because we have so many praying mantis in our backyard.
Why? They catch bugs, don't they?
I don't know. There's just a bunch of them.
Are they good for? Let's say you're growing some fruits and veggies in your backyard. Would it be good to have praying mantises to eat all the bugs?
well,
Cause they don't. Do they eat leaves? I don't think so, right? They just eat the bugs.
here's the thing. The mantis that we have here, Tenodera sinensis, the Chinese mantis.
Oh, that's yours. I got the spider.
So there's an issue with
I
them.
think you got me one up.
They aren't native.
Uh-huh.
The Tenodera sinensis as a specimen comes from China. They were brought over to America and they were thought to be used as a form of pest control. There is debate, I suppose, as to how effective they are. because they hunt indiscriminately.
Mm-hmm.
They go after everything. The thing about mantises is, as long as you're small enough and you can't get away fast enough, they will eat you. And that becomes a problem because they go after, the pollinators, they go after hummingbirds. And there are...
Hummingbirds. Whoa.
If you see like a full-size Tenodera sinensis, those guys get big. Well, they're not
What is
bulky,
that?
they're
About 5
long.
inches?
About, I'd say, three or four
That's this green
inches.
one over here.
But that's not full grown, right?
Well, these guys are all full-grown, but they're a little bit smaller. So,
Yeah, some of
Let's
the
break
ones,
into
some
them.
of those. So the ones that we have here are Chinese mantis.
yes. This, on the
Some
other
of them
hand...
are huge. The ones in my backyard, they're like the same height as my hand.
God damn.
So
Oh,
this
he's
here...
excited. Yo, he's coming at you.
Hell no.
He's coming at you.
Yo,
So what
you know
we
what would be
have
great
here-
content?
Oh, shoot.
like if it jumped at me and started like flying, I would dip.
You might ruin the whole setup, bro. You knock over the camera.
So,
Nah, I'll probably just duck like this.
We
What-
could hold these, right?
yes, you can. What we have here, as you can see her
that
waving
looks
at the
pretty
camera.
badass right now, like with its little hands out.
So what we have here is a Hierodula majuscala. Well, that's its
Hierodula
Latin name.
majuscala.
Its
I'm not even
common
gonna try to
name
say it.
would be the Australian giant forest mantis.
What name you gave them?
this
This
one?
one.
Damn, that looks really
This
cool.
girl, I haven't exactly given her a name yet.
We could name them right now. We're gonna name the spider Tequila because it's Mexican, and that one's Chinese, right? So
Australian, actually. They come from Australia.
So Australian and Chinese. So what's
Something
Australian?
from Australia.
Kangaroos. We could name it. I don't know, bro.
I'm gonna say something stupid, so I'm just not gonna say it.
It's Australian. We're gonna name it Chloe.
Whoa, what is it doing right now? What is it doing?
Shout
Well,
out to
it's trying to
Carlos.
stretch. So you
Trying to
see,
grab you.
Yeah, you had it in the little container. Damn, that's actually super cute.
Look under it. Looks it's like gray in the bottom.
well, she has like orange tones.
So what is it? Where's the thing that they usually pinch you with? Is it the thing
That would
under?
be the claws.
Damn.
Those raptorial
So they could
claws.
they could dig that into you, right?
If they really wanted to, to get a point across.
She looks super friendly right now.
Well, she's
Can I
reaching
try-
for the
can I hold her?
sky.
Can
Yo,
I
she's
hold her?
praying.
Oh shit.
There you go.
Does it hurt?
Yo,
Where's she-
there is weight to this. Yeah, you could feel their little things right now. Like you could feel it like it's like spiny.
Spiny.
Yeah, it's spiny.
I want to try it. I haven't.
Yo,
felt-
but there's weight to it. I was surprised. I thought it was gonna be really light, but there's some weight to it.
Oh yeah, I feel it. It just feels like
It's like
it's-
spiny, right?
Yeah, it's like tickling your
Yeah.
palm.
Damn, this is pretty cool. Damn.
Alright.
Thanks for showing us.
Look at
this
the
thing,
eyes,
Darren.
dude.
This is awesome.
The eyes are just a big ball.
Bug eye.
Literally bug-eyed.
I want to see.
Damn,
I
this
wanna-
is so cool right now because you're wearing a camo jacket.
I want to hold something black next to it for you to see it. Can you pass me that book?
This one?
Yeah. Shout out to Thug Kitchen. Can you see it better? You're just gonna zoom into it, Brian.
Oh, you know what?
Here, just put it on my shirt.
Nah, there you
Keyboard.
go.
Oh yeah,
Keyboard
right
might
there, the
actually be
keyboard.
better.
Perfect.
Look at that. The focus is off.
So it's a charming little creature.
It tickles. It's tickling my whole.
It's a very different sort of sensation.
Oh my god, this is awesome, dude.
Look at Norman being so brave.
Right?
Yeah.
Aren't you scared of bugs?
I am, but you know that you know what it is? It's just because I don't know anything about them.
Education is very...
He looks so cute. It looks like he's reaching for a hug.
It's a she. Come on, bro.
My fault.
He would be much smaller.
Really?
I thought.
With praying mantises, they undergo what we call sexual dimorphism. So the females would be half the size.
Yo, that's mad cute when like she's like reaching. It's like a little baby.
I only know of sexual dimorphism for primates.
Well, think about, how one sex is usually bigger than the other.
What's interesting is that for bugs, it's usually the female is bigger. Before, primates is the male. Like gorillas are way bigger than the male gorillas are way bigger
Like the
than the female
lizards.
gorillas.
The lizards.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's just
With bugs, it's because it takes more to produce so many eggs.
too much
And
energy.
you also need to be larger to defend yourself. The males are just there to reproduce, and then their job is done.
Yeah. Plus, for primates, the males are there to defend the females from other males. They gotta defend their territory.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they have to kind of show off in a sense, like the birds of prey. I mean, not the
Mhm.
birds of prey, just birds of paradise. They
Yep,
have all
you
the
have the
feathers
females
and
with
stuff.
the
No.
males with the beautiful feathers,
Yeah,
and
and
you
the
know they are like
females.
the females are kind of drab. If
Females
you
usually just like a little brown bird.
brown, like with a little bit of color to differentiate
Yeah.
them, but it's the males that are pretty ones.
So you know how like dogs can remember you, right?
Mhm.
Like so, would this bug be able to recognize you? Cause like what you just did to her, it was like you were touching her claws, right?
It might. I don't know.
See, the thing about insects is that they are comparatively simple animals.
Damn, this is so
You know
cool.
what I think it is? I don't think they have a. Since they have weird eyes, I don't think they have depth perception, right?
Oh,
So
praying
it's-
mantises can see that.
can they?
Yes.
'Cause it
Which
looks
is
like-
why if you put like 3D glasses on them, you can throw their vision completely off. There was a study done where they glued like
That's mad
they put like 3D glasses on a praying mantis and they had it like catch prey and it couldn't accurately judge the
That's
distance.
crazy.
That's like putting it on jugs, you know? It's like you give one of us mad alcohol and you're like, all right, go walk.
Go walk, dude. Go try to go to work while high or something.
All right, sweetie, there you go. Yes, this is the
Oh, you can see through the eyes. They're like see through.
well, kind of. They have a sheen to them, like a glossy like
They
coating.
have a gloss, but I could see a little black dot
That's
behind.
kind of like the reflection. It's
Oh.
like a single point of
can I
reflection.
can I pull out my phone and take a picture and send it to my mom? She loves these.
Go for it, dude.
Alright, I'm gonna WeChat it to her. Alright, Darren, hold it in your hand.
No, she isn't going anywhere.
Alright, let me interrupt.
We interrupt this broadcast for some quality bug taking photos.
I want to send a picture to my mom also.
Wait, can you make it like face me? Yeah. Alright, sorry guys.
Oh, it's tagging me. Whoa.
Oh, it's on the phone, bro.
Oh, it's a butt. It's a butt in the camera.
She has
So
phone
you can
calls
see the
to
bottom
make.
of it.
Yo, she likes me, Darren.
The education. The fear of these critters is because you don't know anything about them.
That's tight, man.
It's not so bad.
This whole podcast is just gonna be us taking pictures of bugs.
God. Yo,
As long as
damn,
you guys
yo,
having a good time, that's what I'm
Dude,
here for.
this is fun.
Yeah, this is.
I'm
I
sending
wouldn't do
pictures
this
to
to
my
the
mama.
spider though.
Nah, I mean, I was down if I knew it wasn't gonna. I mean,
She's
I
just
was,
a
I was
little
kinda
bit-
Down. Yeah,
Nah, I'm not gonna hold
I'm
the spider.
I'm down for it, dude.
That's something for another day, bro.
I'll do it right now. Give me that spider.
You won't.
I'll take a shot of tequila and then do it.
Yeah. You
That's
know.
a bad idea.
And then it's
You
gonna
should-
bite
you should
you.
never be impaired because that can that can throw your judgment off.
Not wrong.
So what we have in that one?
Well, let's put this girl away.
She's just like reaching for everything.
She doesn't have a name, right?
She hasn't gotten a name.
So this one's tequila. That one's gonna be matcha.
Mm.
I like giving animals food names.
What's a Chinese alcohol?
I don't know. You tell me, dude.
Alright.
Sake is Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sake would be Japanese.
The beer with the Tsingtao beer, bro.
It has to be green though.
Yeah, the beer is green.
Oh damn.
Yeah, the green bottle.
You can also call the tarantula mole. It looks like a little bit like mole.
Mm.
You know what mole is?
Educate me.
Mole is like this. It's really weird. Mole, what it is? It's a sauce that you put over chicken and eat it with rice, but it's kind of made out of chocolate. Sometimes it has a lot of spices. It just looks brown, like a brown sauce. It's amazing, dude. It's really. A lot of people don't like it. No, actually, a lot of Mexicans love it, but a lot of people it's kind of weird to them because it's sweet and spicy. But you can
Throws
also get
people off.
spicy ones. Yeah, it throws them off. But I love it, and that looks like mole to me. Because mole is like is brown,
Mhm.
but you go have it orange. So it's like, if you go to a restaurant, like a really fancy restaurant, they'll give you mole and then a dot of the orange mole in the middle. So it looks kind of like that.
Well. Something we can think about.
I love mole. Shout out to my mole eaters.
So this
What we got here?
This is a little more exotic. So we went to Australia. Now we're going to Asia.
What part of Asia?
China #1.
China #1, bro.
So
You want us
these-
banned.
Oh yeah, you're right. I
This
shouldn't say that.
is
I said it because it's a meme. It's a meme.
this is Hymenopus coronatus, commonly known as the Malaysian orchid mantis. Now we say it's from Malaysia, but these guys are found pretty much all over Southeast Asia.
Dude, it's mad cute. It's like doing this with its hands.
So,
its eyes are so like they're long.
Where look, this one has like pointier eyes. That one was like super round. This
Yeah.
one is like super pointed.
And notice the legs.
They're like
Yeah, it's
wide.
like petals too.
It looks like a flower petal, and there's a reason behind it.
They're trying to look like a flower.
Exactly. As the name would suggest, it is a orchid mantis, and they are mimicking an orchid flower.
You know, like so my mom has orchids at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's this one white orchid that she has, and it only blooms once during each year. And last year she was telling me to send her pictures because during the time, right, she was in China, and like you literally, I was taking pictures of it every hour, and within the day, during the day, it was just blooming.
And
But
then
it's
pretty much
crazy,
they're
yeah,
done.
it's dead.
Yep.
So it's like
It
one,
dies
yeah.
after that?
The flower
So
will
it won't-
wilt.
yeah,
because
it'll
it's,
wilt
It's
next
very
year.
energy intensive to maintain a flower.
It's crazy.
It was crazy though, cause like it started as a bulb, right?
Yeah.
And then throughout the day, it just opened.
So this little fellow, while you might think, okay, they'd be found on the orchid flower, research has shown that they actually prefer to be on like plants that have no flowers, because they don't want to compete with the flowers to attract
They wanna stand
other
out.
insects. They want to be the only thing there. And those big claws, those are not there for show purposes. They snatch wasps, bees, butterflies out of the air.
That's crazy.
Although this girl is quite small, they usually get bigger.
Like this one?
They can get up to that size.
This guy's just hanging upside
It's-
down.
Is she full grown right now?
Yep, both of the specimens that you see here today are both full grown.
And they can fly.
They can, but they don't do it because flying is one very energy intensive. Oh, sorry about that.
Nah, go for it.
It's how should I put it? They are not designed for flight.
Oh,
Whoa! It
you,
turned.
you moved your head and
She
he
turned her body.
They are.
Be careful.
look at that, look at
be
that.
careful with the wind, bro.
he's just looking back and
It
forth.
could be like a hurricane for her.
So what's her name?
She just shedded into this adult form not too long ago, so I haven't really learned her personality yet.
Do you save their molts?
I would, but the thing about their molts is it's very delicate.
I'm a
It
namer
would just
or
crumble.
chata.
It would crumble, right?
It crumbles
looks like
over time.
horchata.
Or chata.
You know what horchata is, right?
I've heard the name, but
Horchata is it's another Mexican thing. It's a white drink with it's like milk
I know they got
from the
cinnamon.
rice with cinnamon. Yeah, so it looks like white milk with cinnamon. It's not milk. It's like the water you get from the rice.
It's pretty good.
but to give you an idea, they aren't always this color. You can get ones that turn pink,
That one is a little yellow,
and pure white.
pure white.
So, and you can also have a mixture of all the colors in between.
I want a purple one. You give me a purple one, right?
She's really calm.
You wanna hold her? Can he?
Yes, you can. Just put your hand up front.
So when you came out with this critter, I thought it was gonna be nocturnal or like those. It looks like those like cave bugs. They don't really have any color into their skin. They're just kind of translucent. But then you explained to us that it was because it's trying to mask as a plant, which is pretty awesome.
If you shine a UV light on them, you'll realize that she reflects the same amount of light as if it was a flower.
What I like about her is that she looks at whoever's talking. See, she's looking at you now.
She reacts to movement. She's a visual predator. So anything that moves, she'll pan and look at it almost immediately.
Her antennas are behind her head.
She's picking up movement.
They're going up. Oh, she's ready to swing at you.
Watch, you're gonna mess with her, and then she's gonna attack me.
Keep messing with her. I want to see a fight.
Try to.
Small little creature,
Yeah.
but very elegant.
You see, I think I'm less scared, right? Cause you know these are yours. But like if I was out in if I saw a praying mantis in my backyard, I don't think I would be brave enough to pick it up.
Well, the ones in the wild are generally not aggressive at all.
Really?
They only be aggressive to you if you're a small prey item. Then you're in
Okay.
trouble. So
So like the ones in my backyard, right? Would they be like? Cause you know how you're saying there's old world, new world. Would the ones in my backyard be the new world ones?
well, the thing is, old world and new world only applies to tarantulas.
Oh, okay, okay.
With
And primates.
yes, and primes. But for this topic, we're looking at invertebrates. Old world and new world would be for tarantulas. With praying mantises, they are generally all very calm
All right.
animals.
So next time I see one in my backyard, I'm gonna pick it up.
Oh, look at you getting over your fears, one step at a time. So, you might be wondering about the enclosures. Now, with these critters,
I see what you did there. You said they don't like flowers, so you just put leaves.
well, you want to give them a
Does
bit
it look
more
like?
space.
Does it look like a flower?
If it stands still, yeah, honestly, it does. It looks like a flower that hasn't bloomed yet. Like it's just kind of closed.
Mhm.
But I know it's not a flower, so I'm just staring at it. When you came with that one, I didn't see the bug inside. I saw it in this one because you could see it hanging, but I couldn't find it. Same with the tarantula. You can't really see it unless you're looking for it.
Now,
I thought you brought a box of dirt.
camouflage at its finest.
It's pretty good, dude. If I was a bird, I probably wouldn't catch it.
You just walk on right by, like, oh,
So,
here.
in the wild, where would this spider be? Like, if I was like hunting for one, right? Where would I find it?
I believe they are in the forested regions
Of Mexico? Like
Yes.
the southern regions?
I believe so. We'll probably need to pull up a map on this one because I
I
don't recall their exact locality.
Show them the map, Victor.
Brian, Mr. Passive.
Nah, it's behind you.
Oh, wait, we do have a map here. Oh, shit.
See, it's more of we'll also need to cross-reference because the issue with this species is that they were known as Brachypelma smithi for a while. For as long as they've been in the hobby, they were known as Brachypelma smithi.
Uh-huh.
Then a few years ago, scientists actually went in and looked at their genetic code and they were like, wait a minute, this is not what we previously thought it was. So, orange and black, very striking.
Mhm.
Turns out that there are two spiders that look like this.
So,
Brachypelma smithi and Brachypelma hamori. What I have here is Brachypelma hamori, which is what the hobby assumed was smithy ever since we brought it into the hobby. From what I'm aware of, you have to look at the striping of the legs. Hamori has like a certain pattern as opposed to smithy, but she's not big enough yet that I can tell what the pattern is. And there is the other issue of crossbreeding. So we are not too sure what the hell we have in the hobby as well, because Smithy and Hamori could both have come into the hobby, and the thing is because they are so similar, you can crossbreed them, which is a problem.
because then you get like, do you get a fertile?
You get fertile offspring, but the issue is that if you look at it genetically, you're not quite sure what the heck it is.
Damn, this is a very like intricate hobby. It's pretty crazy.
And
It's-
for
I mean,
a couple of people
But
keeping
they're
spiders
two
in
different
boxes,
species, right?
They're two-
They just look the same.
I would say that they are in the family Brachypelma.
Mm-hmm.
They are very closely related to one another. The difference would be that they are separated by, I think it's a river.
I think when I was taking my evolution class last year, they were talking about the similar animals trying to look the same because it helps them evolutionarily.
Well, that would be what, Batesian mimicry, is it?
I don't remember, dude.
It's
But I
one of
remember
the mimicries, but this is more of because they are so similar genetically.
maybe they were one species and they split off to two after they got divided.
It's entirely possible.
Like they're far enough that they're two different species, but close enough that they're able to breed and create
Mhm. So
offspring that
they
reproduce.
possibly diverge from a single species over time.
We gotta
since
find the
river-
missing link. What's the missing
Possibly,
link?
but then it leads to the problem of we're kind of diluting the gene pool of both specimens
Because
because you're interbreeding, and so you have like a third species where you're like, we're not quite sure what the heck you are.
it'll be a hybrid.
Hybrids can be good and bad for for the environment. We're not quite sure. I
Yep.
would hope that this is a pure female, as a pure genetic wise.
But you don't know unless you test it, right?
I'm not even sure, to be honest, because
You're 100% Mexican though.
I mean that is true.
Claim them.
Yeah, what's up, boy?
And she is pretty no matter what she is. It's just more of, if we look at it from a long-term perspective of, all right, I want to produce these babies and I want to keep this specimen in the hobby.
You
Then
want to keep it pure.
We need to ask the very important questions of, all right, so what does this mean for the hobby moving forward if we realize that we have certain, specimens that are, how should I put it, that are mixed. So what do you do from then? Then you gotta start tracking like, oh crap, how far back does this go? And that makes things a little difficult. So it's like, there are a lot of questions. The hobby is still, it's evolving. We find out new things about them. We change names. Every couple of years, a family of spiders will suddenly be split into two, and you lose a couple of specimens, gain a couple of specimens.
So that's why every year scientists be like, oh, we found 50 new species of whatever. I'm like, yeah, but really, it's just one species that changed, didn't it?
With those reports, if they say they found a new species, that would indicate that it's a completely new species.
Oh, so what if this one evolved to a different species, or what if this one and the other one?
When the report came out for the split, it was titled Brachypelma hamori, the new name for the previously known Brachypelma smithi. So you're indicating that this is a species that we know. It's been in the hobby for a while. It's a known specimen, but its name has just changed from smithi to hamori.
But there's two, right?
Yes, there's two.
Okay.
We've always known that there were two,
Just
at least
didn't-
as far as I'm aware of. It's just that we didn't know what the heck we were looking at specifically. And like with spiders, you get into the whole thing of when you name them, there are groups of families where you literally look at the spider and you're like, I don't know what you are. You're going in this family and you're just gonna sit there
That
for
happens
a
a
while.
lot when people, put them in a specific category. They look at them and then they're like, oh, you look like this, but let's put it here. But technically, if you look at genetics, it might not even be that. It might just be they just look similar.
So that's what happens with a lot of spiders. The Brachypelma family is one of the few families that people like to dump them in there. They're like, you kind of look like this. You're from the region. Bam, there you go. And then when you look at them genetically, then you realize like, oh crap, this is a completely different specimen that just looks morphologically similar.
Yeah.
Which is why morphological based categorizing of animals it doesn't work. Because if you look at them, they all kind of look the same, but genetically they're completely different. So if you would pair two of them together, you would produce either a duck or infertile offspring.
Yeah.
So other people go like, oh, they look the same. Yeah, but genetically
You
they're
get
completely different.
you get the same thing with primates. There's like the staplerines, which are like lemurs and other similar animals, and then you have the rest. I think haplorines, which are humans and the new world
Great
and old
apes.
monkeys. Yeah, and then there's this weird animal called a tarsier that has a lot of similarities to staplerines, but genetically it's closer to us. It just went this way, and it was like, oh, it's not working for me,
Nope.
and then just went that way.
Tarsiers are weird.
Yeah,
They're
they got big eyes and
yeah,
stuff.
they're big buggy eyes, a tiny little body, and they're palm size.
Yeah,
They look like they've seen some shit.
they look like a bug. They look like a bug. There's a
Are they like lemurs?
monkey.
They're weird.
So it's this kind of, think of a little monkey with a big head, with huge eyes. The eyes are probably, let's say, the size of this, and the head is probably this big. So if you look at the skull, the eyes are like goggles.
Their eyes are bigger than their brain.
Yeah, and they have two of them, and they can't. Their eyes are so big they can't move them left and right, so they have to move their whole head.
What's the purpose of these animals?
They are
They-
insectivores.
yeah, they
they
eat
help to
bugs.
control the insect population in the forest where they come from. Southeast Asia, right? I believe.
Southeast Asia, yeah.
If I recall correctly, tarsiers are from Southeast Asia. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Cute little buggers.
They're a little weird. They just look trippy. And then
Yeah,
they're always hunched over. Like
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
everything's really
like
tight. But if you see them jump, they're really long. Like their legs are long and their arms are
The
long.
thing is that they kind of scrunch down and then they climb
Yeah.
up a tree. They look like little gremlins.
You know what's interesting? Is talking about habitats and stuff. There's not a lot of birds in Madagascar. So all the lemurs that went to Madagascar took the places of the birds. For example, there's and we have woodpeckers here, right? Where they kind of tap the tree and then find bugs and then pull the bugs out. In Madagascar, there's no woodpeckers. So there's this primate that took that niche of that bird. So they have these long
Middle finger.
Yeah.
It's called an eye.
An eye, yeah, those have big eyes. But it's a steppeline. It's not a haploline. So it just taps on the tree, and then when it finds something, it just digs in there and it just pulls it out and eats bugs.
Damn, is that like a part of like evolution? Like they adapted to that?
Yeah, so
They filled
Yeah,
the
that's
niche.
pretty
They
sick,
filled the
bro.
niche. There's
That's
another
awesome.
one. There's no birds, right? So there's no hummingbirds. So there's nothing to pollinate the environment. So there's this little
mouse lemur.
The mouse lemur that goes into plants, eats the pollen, and then it gets all the pollen on its fur, and then it walks around and just drops everything.
That's crazy how it works like that.
It's evolution, man. That's
Nature finds a way.
It's like
Nature
mind
finds a
blowing.
way.
Yo, for real, it's mind blowing.
And then you also have, like, because lemurs made their way to Madagascar and they filled up all the niches, so you can find different lemurs that do different things.
But then if you look at them like, all right, this is like a job for this sort of animal in like, Africa or something, and you look at Madagascar and you're like, oh crap, that's not what nature's doing here.
Madagascar's weird. Well, from what I learned, the reason Madagascar's so weird is because it's an island, a huge island, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of creatures from Africa were able to make it to the island, but only small creatures because they get carried there by. So after a hurricane happens,
Mm-hmm.
hurricanes hit the east side of Africa, goes inland a little bit, and then comes back out and goes over Madagascar. So all the animals that are on the edge of Africa, they end
Get
up
carried out.
either on a raft or something, some debris,
Mhm.
and then that's why you have lemurs there because they're really small and they're able to
Adapt
Adapt.
very quickly.
and then they're able to survive that that voyage
That
basically.
journey,
Yeah.
basically. They're like, oh.
So you're not gonna see huge apes there, but you are gonna see all these little animals that are there.
But here's the thing as well. Then you get into the whole thing of island gigantism.
Yeah.
They get bigger on the island because they're sort of filling the niche.
But another thing is that if they go to an island where there's not a lot of predators, they could just eat and get huge. But you also get the opposite where they get dwarfism.
Island dwarfism.
Yeah, like the mammoths that were in California. There's an island off California. They have basically dwarf mammoths, and then the huge mammoths were on the mainland.
That is true.
It's crazy, man.
Madagascar is also the only place where you can find chameleons
Yeah,
natively. I mean, we're not talking about Florida.
I mean, this is the only place you can find a lot of things. Like, well, I know primates, so lemurs. You get the
Chameleons, though. Chameleons have I believe you can find the most number of chameleons in
Mhm.
Madagascar than anywhere else in the world.
That's
They are
crazy.
only found there and in some places in Africa, and that's about it.
My teacher studies primates in Madagascar, and she's gonna have a trip over there. She wants students to go. I'm not gonna go. Fuck that. That's expensive.
Damn, that sounds like a cool learning experience. So
Yeah, every year she goes with a couple students to Madagascar, but you have to get all your shots and you have to travel. And then
Mhm.
she says that you land at a airport, not like a fancy one, and then you have to have a 2-day drive and then a 1-day hike to get to the place where you're gonna do all your experiments at and stuff.
Because that's true wilderness out
Yeah,
there.
you're in the jungle.
There's no highway that you can drive to. Everything is by foot or by air.
Or by canoe.
That is true.
You could-
Paddle. It's like there's no highways. There's no roads where you're going.
It's interesting. You know what I want to do? What I always wanted to do when I was a kid, because I was fascinated by cryptology.
Mhm.
So like Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster, and I was like, how come people just don't like everybody get together and just walk into the jungle and just see what they see? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, it's
But-
so.
but then you realize how big the jungle is or how big the forest is. Because I was in my head, I'm like,
It can't be that big.
yeah, it can't be that big. Everybody just arms locked and just walk across, like filter the whole forest. But then you realize it's a big area.
Mm-hmm.
The Amazon rainforest is, I think, it's the size of India, isn't it? Like the continent.
We have a map right
Well,
there.
the map is inaccurate
That is true.
because if you see Africa's this big and then Greenland's that big, it's the same size, but in reality,
Greenland's
this
like
big,
that big, and
and then
Africa is huge.
So if you look at that map, it's not accurate.
it's not to scale, right?
No, it's not to scale. Well, every flat map is not to scale because you're putting a
A
globe.
Essentially a globe, and you're like unfurling it.
Yeah, so if you did it accurately, everything would be messed up. All the countries in the center are much bigger, and all the countries north and south are really small.
But the Amazon rainforest is an absolutely massive
Amazon
plot.
is huge, and it's burning down, guys. It's burning down. We're gonna lose the Amazon rainforest.
Is it burning because of like global warming?
It's burning. Well, I haven't looked into it because it makes me depressed. But it's burning because people want to farm there. So farmers are burning down the forest because they're not allowed to have a certain amount of land, right? A certain amount of the rainforest. But if it happens to burn down, they're just like, yeah, we go farm there now. So they end up farming cattle and other stuff, and I think produce. But the thing is that
The beef industry is the big problem,
Yeah.
unfortunately, in the Amazon.
Yeah,
And
so
as much as I love steak,
Yeah,
I also understand that, there are problems with the way the industry is run.
yeah, but that's everywhere too. Also, in I think the Philippines, they have these huge jungles, but they
Palm oil.
basically they
Palm
tear
oil is a
down
big problem.
they tear down the jungle and then just plant a bunch of palm trees because they
Mhm.
need palm oil. But the thing is that you see that area and you think, oh, that's great because there's a bunch of trees, but not really. There's only one type of tree, and all the animals are
Got
gone.
displaced
Yeah.
by that.
And then another thing is that because there's a bunch of I think palm leaves are super flammable,
Hmm.
so you get a bunch of wildfires over there, which obviously kill everything. And one big primate is losing its. Well, we're losing a lot of them is orangutans.
Orangutans.
Yeah, we're losing a bunch of them because
Oh,
of
I
all
love
these fires and
orangutans.
stuff.
Yeah,
And-
you guys know a lot about this stuff.
I just know about primates. I don't really know about bugs and stuff.
That's where I come in.
Yeah.
That's why you guys have me on the show.
You wanna call it? Cause we
Wrap it up here.
wrap it up. We're gonna do another one in a few about lizards, right?
So-
And that's gonna
so
be
stay
interesting.
tuned to that. That
But
one
for
will be
now,
fun.
I gotta pee. This is how we end every
All right,
podcast. We gotta.
Thank
pee.
you for showing us this stuff, Darren.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure.
We'll love to have you back. I want to
Next
see.
year.
I want to see this tequila mature.
Oh, when she gets bigger, don't worry.
I want her.
We'll bring her back.
Next
when
time I'll
she's-
hold her. Next time I'll
Okay.
pick her up.
All right, we'll do that.
I might be brave enough next time.
Maybe.
All right.
All right. It's been real, guys. Please like and subscribe and leave a
Like.
comment down below if you like this episode. See ya.
See ya.
I gotta pee.